Hi, it's Joanne. Thank you for watching Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 12, A Real Hero. Thank you so much, Louise, for sponsoring. Let's go. She has fallen. I mean, she could probably use magic to carry her as well, but... could carry her in his arms, it would be fine. Why doesn't she trust him to carry her? He could carry her! Like, Fern has some very strange thoughts. Why is a child the chief? Where the hero's sword was? We have a sword in the stone, like it, like it. No pressure? Wonder if it didn't actually happen in that storybook way, like maybe she pulled out of the stone or something. Return the sword? Oh my god. Okay. I love the trust Frieren has in them. I love their teamwork. Oh, he never got the sword. I thought there was something not right, why they didn't tell the story. It doesn't mean you're not a hero, it just means you're not the hero the sword was prophesized about. It's good he didn't let it discourage him. He's a hero whether he did it or not. I would be tempted to give it a try. Zero expectations, but just in case. I feel like he is tempted to give it a try. Is that a glimpse of a flashback? You should celebrate then. That is terrifying. Oh no. These idiots. What is it? I love watching them all get closer together. He's a teenage boy, sweetheart. She would like to get you a present, sweetheart. Never? Even from Ison? That's tragic and sad. That explains a lot about him and breaks my heart. At that age, Jesus. You're the only monster I see. I hope his brother was kind. Okay, he had someone kind in his life. That's something. You were a baby. Well, your brother would have wanted you to run. At that age, I bet he would have run because he was a child, or you'd be dead. So... I want to get him a birthday present now. Okay. I have adopted him now. Oh. Okay, so at least, like, he was passing that on to his trainee, even if he maybe could have told him the sweet reason behind it. He got a present from his brother. Oh. I knew that your brother would have wanted you to live. You were too young to be here. My heart is breaking. Did any of them manage to survive somehow? That's what she found. He's hopefully reevaluating his worth in the world and how much he's been loved in the past. Thank you, Frieren. I absolutely loved that episode. I loved that we got to learn more about Stark. I still would like a little bit more information on Fern, like who her parents were and like what was going on before, but we know where she came from, we know kind of her backstory. And with Stark, we kind of knew he had his slightly awkward mentorship with Ison, because Ison maybe was well-meaning, but I don't think was very good at the whole training people thing, because you sometimes need to like let them know that you like them and share your feelings for them and not hit them, you know. There are probably like times where like he could have been better, but he did care. But seeing that like Stark came from a warrior culture, and I mean, if anybody, I mean, how I can't judge ages with real people, let alone with cartoon like anime children. He was less than 10. He was like 7. How on earth are you expecting that child to be a warrior? Like, maybe other kids were braver than him, but that doesn't mean he's not capable of becoming brave when he gets older. He's a child. And I'm really glad that he's able to look back at those memories of shame and pain from when he was a kid and realize that there was someone looking out for him, and that someone was his brother, the best warrior in the town, the one that everyone looked up to. He loved him even though he was weak, even though he wasn't as good as he had been at that age or whatever. He loved him, and realizing that not only did his master make him those hamburg steaks for his birthday, but his brother had done the same thing because his brother loved him. And it's heartbreaking that the brother had to say, don't tell anyone that I've done this for you. So like he did get a birthday present before, and I just, it's so beautiful. And then him kind of remembering, like he's always remembered that night of just, it was scary, I was a coward and I ran, and now thinking, my brother told me to run, my brother told me to live, my brother would be happy that I have lived this long and that I'm now becoming the warrior I always was going to be. I think it's a really sad story, like it broke my heart, but at the same time, him being able to look back and realize that the love has been there and his worth has been there the entire time. It isn't something that is just happening now because he's a good warrior. It has always been there. And people have always seen it, even if they haven't necessarily been the best at showing it, or he hasn't been able to understand that he's being shown it. And now he's with Fern and Frieren, who are both also trying to show him that they do care about him in their own awkward way. So I really loved the fact that we got that insight into his character, and I think it explains so much of his kind of struggles with his like, oh, I'm a coward, I'm not brave, or I'm terrible like at being a warrior because I'm so weak and cowardly, or like that's, you know, that sort of mental cycle he gets into, even though when push comes to shove, he's brave, because of course if his whole life, I mean, his whole childhood, he was told, you're nothing like your brother, you're weak, you're useless, ugh, you. And then fled for us to save his life, because I agree with him running. And then that would definitely reinforce, I ran away, I'm a coward. And then, of course, you're going to get stuck into that cycle. But he's starting, hopefully, to realize that he is more than that. And I really liked it. And I liked that you know, Fern saying, well, if I'm going to run away again, no, we won't let you, and like, we're here for you, and insisting that he will get a birthday gift, even if he's being annoying, and um, he's still a teenage boy. But I think that was just, I really love that backstory and how they were able to, in one episode, sort of show us the heartbreak, but then also show us the comfort, like the hurt comfort of it all, in fan fiction terms. Like, kind of realizing the sadness of everything, but then there were these light moments through it, and it doesn't mean he'll feel the loss of his brother in his life there any less, but I think it's really important. And I hope we get more of these moments of these three talking to each other about what they've been through. I mean, it sounds like all three of them, Fern, Frieren, and Stark, have experienced their homes and families being destroyed by violence and then being without anybody. Like, Fern and Frieren immediately were taken under somebody else's wing, more or less, but they still experienced the grief and the pain of losing everything they knew. Stark maybe wasn't quite as happy where he'd been, and we don't know how long it took for him to run into somebody, but they have, all three of them have been through a very similarly traumatic experience, different situations, different relationships beforehand. But I do think that is such an interesting and heartbreaking backstory that they all share, that for them to kind of be forming this little family bond. And Frieren, the way she looks back at her previous party of heroes and is able to realize that she did care about them deeply, particularly Himmel, but she cared about them and they were a sort of family for her and she loved them. But at the time, she was just so wrapped up in just, first of all, she'd been on loan for centuries, but that, well, you know, I'm just going to keep doing this and it's going to be fine and this is nothing. And she didn't realize that she wanted to savor those moments, and now she's making much more of an effort. And yep, sometimes it takes Fern being like, what are you getting him for a birthday present? That's unacceptable. You know, it takes kind of being nudged a little bit to make that moment, but she still is thinking about them. She was the one that was like, oh, it's his birthday today. She cared enough to find out when his birthday was and make a note of it, because she didn't need to. He's just coming on the journey with them. He doesn't seem like, given that he's never really celebrated his birthdays, maybe he mentioned in passing, oh, I'm going to be 18 soon, or, you know, but like, I think it's just such a, I love watching the three of them develop these bonds, and it's still messy and awkward because they're messy and awkward, but I think we all are really, and I loved this episode. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.